Sorry. We had, welcome everyone. We had an incredible call last Wednesday night when we had Art Jonak on, and he's just been an incredible leader in our industry for so long and a really great friend of Dana Collins. And so it was wonderful to hear him and to hear his amazing language. I knew it was going to be good because Dana had told me and had given me a lot of his language, but to hear him put it all in one setting was just really amazing. And it is such current language of how you would describe that is just ahead of its time right now, of how you would describe our industry and the language you would use. And I remember different times when we would get great wording through the years from people who were really smart in our industry, and it made a huge difference. It made a huge difference for how we built, how fast we built, how people got reinvested in their business and were able to go out and talk about it. And I really know that's what's going to happen again with us. So we've worked over the weekend. Phoebe and I were take the word things off word for word. And then Dana and Mark put it into a kind of a one pager. And then my husband and I tried to format it into a document. Now, I'm sure after we get off tonight, there's going to be mistakes in the document or wrong capitalization or something like that. Because I've never claimed to be a English grammar teacher or anything like that. Phoebe always corrects me and helps me out, makes me try to let me look a little bit better. So thank heavens. So anyway, we'll perfect it after we get done tonight, but we're going to go ahead and do the recording with Miss Dana, as she was very graciously said she'd jump on and train us on how you would present this. So anything that you want to say first before we get going, Miss Dana?
Yeah, before we kind of pull up the document, I want to say that what I love is that what we're going to share with you can be used in any setting, whether you're speaking with one person, two persons, three persons, or a large group. It can translate into any environment, and that's what I love about it. And it's the language. It's not like Mark Cobb and I just kind of sat down and organized the notes as, you know, to make it something kind of easy to walk through, but it's really the language. The languaging, as Dina said, it's so relevant. So I'm going to take it from the point of view of a one-on-one, because that is most likely the scenario you're going to find yourself in most, is sitting down across from someone. Now, this is not a document that I would use if I were meeting someone to talk to them about Arbonne 30. This is a purposeful business meeting presentation. And I'm going to suggest that you really make it part of your goal, your focus for 2022, to have at least 2 of these conversations every week. I promise you, if you do that, next year, January 2023, your business will be in a completely different place. And that's because the fundamentals of this business never change. And fundamentally, this is a business about the odds. We're always playing the odds. And so the more business conversations you have, the more quickly you're going to find those for whom this is the right fit. I think that, you know, we are really great at retailing. You know, on our teams, we're phenomenal retailers. We can talk about Arbonne 30 all day long, but we kind of fumble a little bit when it comes to talking about the business. And so I chose the word this year, bold, because I want to be bold this year in having those conversations more often, because I think, you know, I don't think I'm alone in falling into that trap of Arbonne 30, because we're so excited about what our products can do for people, but we've got to get excited about what our opportunity can do for people. And that's what I think the languaging in what Art has shown us is so good at presenting, is what this opportunity can do for the average person, not for, like, I'm not some super talented person, but this business has transformed my life. And I know for many of you, you can say the same. So if I were sitting down with, I'm going to pick on someone. I'm going to pick on Dina because I can see Dina. So I'm going to pick on Dina. Like if I were meeting Dina, chances are I'm going to have a reason, like typically we have a reason to ask somebody to sit down with us for a one-on-one. So think about who's on your, like who are your PCs, who are your consultants, who are your friends, who are people that you have not really told them more than just, oh, we have some great products. Think about who those people are, because when you start thinking in that way, suddenly you're going to have a ton of names, because not everyone is a candidate for Arbonne 30, but everyone is a candidate for the business. Everyone. I don't know one person, because I don't really know a ton of really wealthy people that, like, I don't know Elon Musk or people like that, but most of the people I know would be happy making extra money. So we have something really, really powerful. I would call Dina and I might say, Dina, hey, look, I know you, whatever, you know, she's mentioned in conversation. I know that you really wanted to, you know, go on vacation this year, but, you know, you couldn't do it. Or like Dina's been in Arbonne forever, so she doesn't really have a why to do Arbonne. But let's say I was meeting Dina back when she had a son that she didn't want to put into, she wanted to keep him matriculated in regular school. And, you know, I knew this about Dina. I might call Dina and say, Dina, listen, this might not be a fit for you, but I would love to sit down with you because I might have a solution for you that would allow you to keep your son in the school that you want him to be in. Could you meet me for, you know, could you meet me, you know, we could grab some, you know, a beverage of your choice this week or next. And we're going to sit down, and the first thing I'm going to say, and this is how I start every one-on-one. And I do this because I think it's really important to match the body language of the person that you're sitting across, and to match, to kind of determine their energy and then bring it up just a skosh. And so I'm going to say to Dina, so how's your day going so far? And Dina's going to start talking, and then I'm going to kind of know, all right, this is the energy level that I need to bring this to, because some people are super high energy. So you're going to have to bring it up. Some people are kind of sleepy, and you got to kind of bring it up a notch, so they'll bring it up a notch. But if you bring it up too high, you're going to alienate them. It's going to feel weird. And so that's something it's called mirroring. You can read all about it, but I think it's really powerful, because the most important thing that we do when we sit across from another person, the most important thing that we're doing is we are trying to find common ground. We are trying to let them see that we are like them, right? And that's why I love the way Art starts off with his questions, because it helps to establish, you know what, we're not so dissimilar. So how's your day been so far? And Dina's going to tell me whatever that is. I'm going to be able to kind of ascertain, you know, like if she's, you know, high energy, medium energy, I'm going to match it, bring it up a bit. I'm going to mirror her, like if she's leaning in, I'm going to lean into, I'm not going to lean away from her. She's leaning away from me, I'm not going to lean away from her, but I might not lean into her. That's going to be uncomfortable. Like, I want to be conscious of the person across from me. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to feel completely comfortable with me. That is my objective. I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want them to feel like we have things in common. And so I might then say to Dina, tell me what's going on with your son right now. I want Dina to tell me her story. There are going to be times, you guys, or that's as far as you're going to get. They're going to tell you their story and you're going to run out of time. And you know what? That is okay. The more they talk, the more comfortable they're going to be with you. So don't feel like you need to rush right in to a presentation. So now let's say she tells me about her situation and she tells me she's, really stressed out because this is a huge deal in her son's life and Dina's life, and she doesn't know what to do about it. And I'm going to say, well, I'm so glad we had an opportunity to meet because I think I have a solution for you. Now, whether it's a fit or not, only you can decide that. But like right now, so right now you're working, I remember you worked for like a utility company, right? So right now you're working for whatever utility company. How many hours a week are you working?
40.
40. And so how does that impact your ability? Like, how does that, that's like outside of being able to take care of them at school, are you finding it difficult to do all the things that you need to do for your family? So
Really?
like if you're not, so Dina, one of the things so here's the thing is you can't just jump right into, in many scenarios, if you know their reason for meeting with you, and to tell me 3 things you love to do. That's a great question for a stranger. It's not necessarily a great question for somebody that you already kind of know what's going on in their life. Because if I jump from, so Dina, you're taking care of a handicapped child, to what do you love to do? Because chances are her handicapped child is where her time is being spent. Like, you've got to use common sense. Common sense and logic are really, really important in the sponsoring process. If you want to, attract people to you, you've got to be able to put yourself in their scenario. Because I know anybody who's got little kids know that that's pretty much what you do. But chances are, if you have little kids and you work, you're not spending enough time with them. Like, it doesn't take a rocket science to connect those dots. So I might say, so how is that interfering with your ability to take care of your son? Dina's going to probably start talking to me again. And I want to be able to relate back to her. And so I'm going to acknowledge what she's experiencing, right? You want to acknowledge people. You want to acknowledge, not like, oh my gosh, Dina, that's hard, but acknowledge Dina. So it might be, Dina, I can't imagine, like how much strength that takes. You are incredibly strong to be able to work 40 hours a week and deal with all of this emotional stress. That's amazing. Like validate the person, not, oh my, and I don't know how else to say that, but when you validate the qualities of a person, when they express to you who they are and what they're doing, they're going to feel like you get them. And if you validate somebody, you do get them. You're getting them. You're getting their experience. You're getting what they're going through. You're getting who they are. And that's essentially what connecting and building relationship is all about. And that's the goal, right? That is always the goal. So then I might say, so, Dina, I want to show you, like what I kind of stumbled into and have turned into the best decision of my life. And then I'm going to tell my story. So like, I'm going to tell you my story. So then I'm going to tell, kind of my aha moment, like my, Art's cleaning the gold toilet seat moment. This is for you to insert your moment when you realize that what you were doing had you standing still and had you kind of in this hamster wheel that you didn't know how you were going to get off of. And I might say to Dina, like, I remember the moment when I, sort of had a lot of doubts about my future and anxiety and fear. Like, I realized I was on a hamster wheel and I didn't know how I was going to get off. I was 24 years old. I was sitting on I-5 in Seattle, and it was like a parking lot, like it is most days. I was stressed to the max because it was just another day sitting in my car, going to work where I was going to spend 8 to 10 hours to spend another hour to 2 hours driving home. I was going to get home at 7 or 8 o'clock. I was going to eat. I was going to like sit on the couch and try to decompress so I could go to bed and just to do it all the next day. And I'm sitting in my car and I'm thinking, how long before I can retire? I'm 24 years old. And I'm thinking, how long before I can retire? And in my head, I'm like thinking 65. And I realized I had 41 more years before I was going to be 65. And I was so anxiety ridden in that moment. And I thought, how do people do this? How do they have families? And how do they balance all of it? How does anyone get ahead? And I kept thinking, there's something that people know that I don't know, and I just have to figure out what that is. And then I met Phoebe Fournier, and I was sitting, I literally went, I came from a job interview. I was about to go I just gotten a job that I'd interviewed with for 6 months, and I met Phoebe Fournier, and she was sitting at a table of Arbonne products. And I remember meeting Phoebe and thinking, oh, what a nice little hobby for Phoebe. Isn't it great that she's making some extra money with this skincare? And as we sat down and we started talking, I'm starting to realize that she's running a multi-million-dollar business, but I can't quite connect the dots between these products and the kind of business that she clearly had and the kind of life she was living. Like it just didn't connect. So I asked her what her husband did, and she told me he was retired. And I was kind of like, okay, I might need to learn more about this. And I eventually, reconnected with Phoebe. And this is when I had this hallelujah chorus moment go off. And hopefully you'll have the hallelujah chorus go off for you too, after I kind of break down what I learned. And so this is where I pull up the sheet. Okay, techno girl.
Yes, I'm getting there.
All right, so I'm trying to click on this. All right, so page 1, we're on page 2. All right, so this is, when she started explaining to me this concept of recurring income. And in order to kind of help you understand what recurring income means, it's important to kind of understand linear income, because most of us participate, and this is what I was trapped in, is this sort of linear income. And we grow up being taught to go get a job and participate in the linear economy. And in the linear economy, every month you start at zero. And this is what that looks like. You work in January, you get paid at the end of January. February 1, you start over again. You start at zero. You work in February, you get paid at the end of February. Beginning of March, start at zero. Get paid at the end of March. Beginning of April, you start at zero. I mean, this is pretty much most jobs, whether it's a bus driver or a surgeon. Everyone that participates in the linear economy has to work to get paid. Now, we all want to not work and get paid, but that's not really possible. But in recurring income model, you do something right one time and you get paid on it. And Art did this again and again and again and again. And an example of recurring income would be royalty income or repeat purchasing. So if you've ever read a Harry Potter book or seen a Harry Potter movie, J.K. Rowling did the work once, and every time somebody buys the book or watches the movie, guess what happens? She gets paid. But she did the work and she continues to get paid, and her estate will probably be getting paid 100 years from now. Another example is Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley wrote songs. He's no longer alive, but his estate continues to get paid. Billie Eilish, she writes a song. Every time we hear it, she gets paid. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be adopted by any of these people. I can't sing, so that's not a possibility. And I'm certainly not capable of writing a best-selling book. So royalty income is not something that I'm probably or talented enough to create. Repeat purchasing usually requires a large investment of money. And And that was not something I had at the time that I started Arbonne. So what I learned was there was a different way to break zero, and it's through this thing called community commerce. Now, you may not have ever heard this term, it may be new to you, but I'm going to kind of break this down as well. So community commerce looks like this. Most corporations are profitable, most big corporations, and every month they break zero because they have, repeat revenue coming in. So like think of Netflix. Every time, every month you pay your Netflix subscription, it's month after month after month. You don't pay it one time, you pay for it month after month after month. Microsoft now doesn't just allow you to just buy their PC, you pay for the service month after month after month, because they've discovered the magic of recurring income. Now, if you recommend PC or Netflix to people, you don't get a referral fee. You don't even get a thank you note. You don't get anything. They keep 100% of that break the zero income. But Arbonne is part of something called community commerce. And more companies are starting to participate in community commerce, especially in the next iteration of what's called Web3 or the metaverse. Some corporations break zero every month, and they share that reoccurring income. They share that break the zero income that's created by those who support and promote their business. And so in the case of Arbonne, I learned this just today, you guys, 50% of Arbonne's revenue is paid out to the field, which is amazing. It's amazing that, that much revenue goes back out to the field. So that was just an aside. So for example, companies like Arbonne share the break the zero income with customers through discounts based on loyalty. Most of the time you purchase a product, you're not purchasing it directly from the manufacturer. So Arbonne gives you the ability to purchase directly from a manufacturer as a customer. You don't have to go through a retailer. Arbonne pays out to those who refer customers. And I don't know if you've ever gotten an email, refer a friend and get $25. With Arbonne, you don't get a one-time $25 fee. You get paid every time that person places an order with Arbonne, as long as that person orders with Arbonne. So you get paid in perpetuity on those people that you introduce to Arbonne, which is incredible. So you could introduce 5 people or 1,000 people. And if those people order Arbonne, you're going to continue to get that referral fee every time they order. And then we have another level of sharing that reoccurring income, and that's by people like me who are brand partners. Not only do I refer new customers to Arbonne and help turn some of those customers into brand ambassadors, but I also help to find brand partners like myself and teach those brand partners how to find customers and brand ambassadors and brand partners. So I partner with people to help them also build a reoccurring income with Arbonne. So Arbonne shares the reoccurring income, and through Arbonne, we create reoccurring income. And I'm going to explain that reoccurring piece in just a minute, but I do want to kind of break down what kind of goes back to preferred clients, brand ambassadors, and brand partners. So preferred clients enjoy 20 to 40% off of their Arbonne purchases, which, is not quite, it's like in terms of like a relationship to a manufacturer. If I had a retail store, I would do a 50% markup on those products. And so our preferred clients essentially get to purchase close to what a retailer would purchase at before the markup, which is really a great discount. Brand ambassadors enjoy an even greater discount. Plus they earn 15% on all of the preferred client purchases. And sometimes that can be a little more if that person doesn't choose to be a preferred client and just chooses to order, straight retail. Or just, like chooses to just order at the catalog without taking advantage of the preferred client package or discount program. And then the last level is our brand partner. And as a brand partner, you get paid not just on commission, basically you don't earn just referral fees from preferred clients. You're also paid override commissions on the sales volume generated by the preferred clients, the brand ambassadors, and the partners. And so this is how it breaks down. When you get started in Arbonne, we have the first level that your paid override commissions on is what we call a district manager. The average district earns $250 to $500 in any given month. And for many people, this is enough money to pay down some student loan debt, maybe credit card debt. And what I love about this is that that's really equal to having $60,000 to $100,000 saved and invested, earning an average yield of 6%. So even at, like $250 to $500 a month, you can earn really, really quickly. I don't know about you, but saving 60 to 100,000 would take me some time. But for most people, they're able to reach district manager in a month or two to generate, that 250 to 500 a month. And so, for those who continue to, add preferred clients, brand ambassadors, and brand partners, they're going to grow their business and they're going to reach a level that's called area manager. And an area manager you're looking at, we have to adjust these numbers, Dina.
Well, you know what I did? I went in there and I literally saw what the current,
But the number, the 400K doesn't correlate to the.
Oh, it should be
times 200.
So it should be, okay. I don't know what that was. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't catch that earlier. I just caught it now. So area manager, so an average area manager is looking at roughly $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And that looks like having 200 to, I'm just going to say, 400 to 600 saved and invested, earning a yield of 6%. And again, for most people, saving 400 to 600,000, to have that, 1,000 to 3,000 a month recurring income is just a daunting idea. But, with Arbonne, you can continue to grow that reoccurring income and become a regional vice president. And at that level, you're looking at 2,800 to 5,000 a month. And that's the equivalent of having 600,000 to $1 million saved and invested, earning an average yield of 6%. And the average time to vice president is less than 5 years. And to save $1 million would require you to put away, to save that over 5 years is saving 16,000 a month for 5 years. And I don't know about you, but would it be easier to save 16,000 a month for 5 years or put some time into this over 5 years to create the same result? Now, of course, we'd all love to have $1 million in the bank too, but but that's just not doable for a lot of people. And then Arbonne has the last level, which is national vice president. And the average national vice president makes $21,000 a month. And what that looks like, that's equal to having 44 million saved and invested, earning an average yield of 6%. And so this is just another way of looking at making money. It's just another way of, creating that safety net that I think most people lack today. And certainly, I think if Dina, I don't know where you would need to be in order for you to be able to be home, but where would that be for you on this, like, would it be district, like at what point would you need to leave? Would you have the money where you felt like you could walk away from your job and be present and, like walk away? Area. So realistically, that's something that we could do within the next 3 to 6 months. But what you're going to need to get started is around 10 hours a week. And then together we're going to work to create some leverage by helping you find a couple of partners each that would work 10 hours a week, because that's how we create in our structure, that's how we create time leveraging. So if we can find a couple of partners, you, let's say plus 5 partners, that's 60 hours a week when you're working. So, you're getting paid on 60 hours, but working 10. And so I know it's a lot to add another 10 hours right now, but I really feel like together within the next 6 months, we could reach the goal of area manager so that you could walk away and then, together we're gonna continue to partner together, because my goal would be to get you past that so that you feel completely, like you have some wiggle room in what you're experiencing every month. So do you have any questions, based on what we discussed, Dina?
No, you did a great job.
All right. No, I was like just pretending we were still having that conversation. So anyway, that's kind of so I would see what kind of questions she might have. And then let's say Dina was like, wow, I'm, most people, are going to say, well, one of the things that, I need to know about are the products if they haven't used the products. And at that point, I might kind of give her an overview of the products, the company philosophy. And then I'm going to say, what I would love to do is walk you through a recommendation. Let's get you started using some products and see what you think. We have a 90-day money back guarantee. So if you hate them, you can return everything for a full refund. And I find that for many people, using the products is kind of a first step to determining whether they feel like they could represent the company, at least as a brand ambassador. And let's say Dina said, and I might say to her, she might say, I'm kind of interested. And I would say to her, well, here's what I would suggest. What most people do is they get a few friends together, and so you can kind of see how we introduce Arbonne. And that would put you, and that would at least set you up to be a brand ambassador. We can, get you set up as a brand ambassador and get you a few clients if, if you have a good response. If not, then, we can kind of go from there. Is there, maybe an evening next week, we could have a few friends over for a fun facial night.
Awesome. Let's do it.
See how easy that was? She said yes. Anyway,
just grab her sisters and she'll have that.
Would you say, Dina?
I mean, grab my sisters and we've got a party.
That's right. That's right. So it's so easy to walk through. It's so easy to walk through, you guys. The hardest part is the beginning, is kind of getting to the point where you can walk through that. That's the most difficult part. But if you open with, tell me how your day's going, you kind of you kind of match their energy a little bit higher, that, you notch it up a bit and you kind of mirror them and you relate. It'll be super easy to go into the presentation, like super easy, because that's why they're there. They're there to learn.
I liked when you said, after you said that, how's your day going so far? You said, what I stumbled into that changed my life.
Yeah.
When I share something with you what I stumbled into, because you then it just kind of like, yeah, I didn't think I'd ever be doing anything like this. So I think that really is a good way to start your presentation.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys. So what do you think? Did you like the verbiage? Did you like the wording, the flow? What did you guys think?
Awesome. Great job.
I loved it. And I actually did a coffee appointment over the weekend. And I really wanted to see this to see if what I came up with was similar, and it was exactly the same. And it went great and it flowed well. And every bit of it was just like what you explained. And it was the most favorite coffee appointment I have ever done. So I love what you shared.
Yeah, I did it over the weekend with someone that I've kind of been talking to for a couple months now. And she went, yeah, let's just do this. if we're going to do it together, let's just do this. And I was
Awesome.
like, that's really awesome. You know, that it was honestly, you guys, the most powerful thing that you're going to say is, let's do this together. Let's do this together. Let's break zero together. Let me help you. Like, that is so powerful, because, and I think sometimes we are afraid that we're not going to be a good enough sponsor. We're not going to be good at getting people started. I gotta say, I've sponsored a lot of people over the years, and I've been a terrible sponsor. I've been tolerable, and I've been great. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It all gets down to the person that you're bringing on board. The only thing that you owe them is an opportunity to get off to a great start by making sure you hold the bar for activity high. The first 90 days is really important for your new person. The more activity, they schedule in their first 30 days, which is going to take them through their first 90 days, the more likely they are to become a regional vice president. I mean, there's a direct correlation between what someone does right out of the gate and the level of success that they're going to see. Because this is one business where fast is better. A lot of times, we say slow and steady wins the race, not in what we do. And so I just believe I owe everyone a great start. And it doesn't mean that I have to be great. It just means that I have to show up and I have to be there. I have to, support them, but they have to show up for work. Not everybody you sponsor is going to show up. They're going to book one or two things. You're still going to help them because you might meet your business partner that you've been looking for, right? But you know that they're not quite ready to really go the distance, and that's okay.
Dana, I love the verbiage you said, brand partner. I love that, partnering with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great term, brand partner.
We worked on that for a while. We couldn't figure out
What to say.
what to say there.
Mark and I kept just saying partner. And then Dina wrote brand ambassador. And I was like, I think partner's better. And then she put brand partner. And it was an accident. It was a happy accident.
It worked.
The best kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing I can say, you guys, is, this isn't the time to just send somebody a video. This is the time to really practice and get good at saying this language and getting good at the verbiage so that it flows from you. People always used to get so irritated with me, and they'd say, well, why can you just say that? And I said, because I put it on 3x5 cards and I put it everywhere in my house so that no matter where I'm at, I am practicing that wording. And this is the time I would tell you to practice that wording. Practice what the breaking down the little sections and what you're going to say, because you guys, this is going to help you. People are going to have that breakthrough moment. Like when I saw Donna Johnson's check sitting at the table, that was my aha moment of my life, seeing that check. And when they think about recurring income, doing something right once and getting paid on it again and again and again and again. And when you snap your fingers again and again and again and again, they're going to want to be the person that creates that break the zero income. And you're going to have a breakthrough in your business. And you're going to do it by inviting a lot of people to take a look.
And Dina, one person was asking about, well, we start over every month too, but we don't. If you're a district manager, you have a base. Now, if you have a stronger base, if you have 100 people ordering every month, of course, it's stronger than if you have 10. But as a district manager, you're not starting over at zero. That's the whole point.
No, you're okay. I'm gonna break this down, Phoebe. So yes, when you start January 1, it's 0 in your web stats. But people that you have already made as clients are going to order. Like, you don't have to go out and find those clients. They're already going to order. So that's reoccurring. That's, you did the work to build that client and they order. That's reoccurring money. And you don't have to show up and find that person. They're ordering regardless of whether you call them, regardless of anything. You have a certain amount of people, once you hit district, they're going to order every month, no matter what. And so maybe, you have 5 people that order and you get a $200 check. That's $200 that you didn't have to go out and do the work for. Versus a job, you start at 0 and then you have to go put in the hours to make that money. And if you don't put in the hours, nothing happens. There is no income.
Dana,
Yes.
I wanted to say too, we also get paid on our own orders.
Yeah.
What, and so we're getting 8%, or, if you're a district, which I am, you get 8% back on your own order,
Yeah.
and so what other company is going to pay you, for buy, like Netflix, if you buy a movie from them, they're not going to pay me a percentage back for doing that.
No.
Do you understand?
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy, Christina, which is, not only do you get, do you get a discount on your order, but you get paid for your order.
Right.
From Armand.
Right.
It's kind
and
of insane.
I just had a call with a client tonight. I was just in the hospital. That's why I'm not my picture. I look terrible. But anyway, I just spent 8 days in the hospital, and I brought all my Arbonne samples and I talked to the nurses. And so I just had a meeting with one of them tonight. That's why I was a little late getting on. And, in my mind, I was going to sign her up as a preferred client. But then I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and just use the analogy, that Art brought up, well, it's not even an analogy. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, and I told her, I said, I don't make a ton of money yet. I'm a district manager. I'm still building. But I said, I just realized how much my money is worth that I make every month, by being on this call. And anyway, I did the whole thing with her. And so she ended up signing. As I'm talking to her, she goes, well, I'm done. And because I was walking her through it on the computer. And she goes, I just signed up as an independent consultant. So thanks a lot.
Wow. I mean, imagine you guys, just like for a second, think, once you start to think, just like Christina just said, once you start to see your money a little differently, and you start communicating that, when you have someone at an area manager level making $1,000 to $2,000 a month, and they understand, what it would take in savings to have that kind of money on a monthly basis, it changes the value of that money, and it creates an incentive, not just to, stay in Arbonne and make sure that $1,000 comes in month after month, but there's an incentive to keep going, because I kind of think that we get a little jaded in Arbonne. We get so fixated on that national vice president level, that 22,000 a month, the $250,000 a year and beyond, that we lose sight of the fact that that district manager with that $400 check, the value that 400 can have. I mean, $400 can make a huge difference for so many people. I mean, if every student with student loans could have 400 in recurring income coming in, and they understood that this money was solely for the purpose of paying down their loans, it would change their ability to participate in the housing market, to do so many things that they may not be able to ordinarily do.
Right. Well, when I told her about, the money that I make, and she's an RN, so she makes really good money. And I think, a critical care nurse. I don't know, so she's been through some other, she's kind of built, I guess, continuing education, I guess you would call it, as an RN. But she said herself, she said, I could really use an extra $500 a month, because I said, what would help you out right now? And she goes, honestly, an extra $500 a month would be great, and so, everybody, it's like Art was saying the other night, it doesn't really matter who you're talking to, everybody could use extra money these days.
Every
That's
time you go to the
great.
gas
Thanks,
station, you
Christina.
think that.
I track my
Sure.
expenses and I can tell you that $500 a month, and I have this beautiful big home. $500 a month would cover my heat, my hydro, my electricity, my gas, my water, my garbage pickup. $500 a month would cover all of those expenses on every month.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said, believe it or not. That's
That's
exactly.
awesome.
500 a month covers a lot of stuff. 500 a month can cover groceries for a family of 4 or
Yep.
more.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, I think tonight was, I hope you're feeling it like me. I feel like we've just turned the page again. And we've turned that Arbonne page. And I can tell you the moments when we turned that Arbonne page, and it's pretty darn exciting. So I'm just so excited that you were all on tonight and got to watch Dana do a presentation and just be,
Yeah.
and when you have the sheet, the page, because I realize I changed the numbers on the one side, so I've got to change the numbers, but we'll have it ready for you to post. It'll get posted tomorrow. And you're going to be able to use this and be able to do, whether you do a Zoom or you can do a one-on-one in person, which is always better if you can, but and to use it when you're doing a Discover Arbonne. That's the language we're going to be using. So, and Dana, is it okay if we join you on your Discover Arbonne?
So next Monday night, I'm going to be doing this as a Discover Arbonne, so you guys can kind of see it as a Discover Arbonne for a large group, like what that would
And
look.
it's, what time is it at, babe?
8
So 8
p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
And my Zoom number is 443-540-0884. Passcode is 2022.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
So who are you going to
Thank
be
you so much.
inviting? Who's going to be on that call with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're serious, you're going to have people there on the call with you. That's
100%. 100%. Let's fill up the slots. Let's make 2022 the year that we changed our lives. And because we always talk about changing other people's lives, but change your, like it starts with our own, right? And when we make the decision to change our own, that's when we have the capacity, that's when we can help someone else.
Well, Dana, from all of us, thank you for hosting the call with Art Jonak last week. It was incredible. Thank you to you and Dina for all the hours you've put in creating those sheets. They're fantastic, for hosting this DA next week. Take advantage of it, guys. It's incredible. And it's not just, I think, one of the best things I've heard for our current time. It's one of the best sets of language I've heard for any time that I've been in this business. It transcends all time. Because
really
we're all
does.
human beings.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Dana, thank you for the challenge to do 2 business appointments a week.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, we used to do that. We got away from it. We just did. We got away from the very things that built the business. And I'm just so grateful that, Phoebe talked to me about it. I didn't have to say yes, but I'm even gladder that I said yes. And I think everybody deserves an opportunity to know that there's a different way to make money. And they have I think everyone deserves to be able to say yes or no to that.
Absolutely. We're so grateful to you, Dana. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you all so
Thank you
much.
so
Yes,
much,
thank
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks for
Thank you
joining
so
us tonight.
much.
Is that
Thank
Carrie
you.
Whitman?
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Oh, hey, Carrie Whitman.
Hi, Dana. Thank you, and Dina and Phoebe for everything tonight. This was spectacular.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad it was helpful. Yay, go team.
Yeah, and I'll post Dana's, her invitation for the opportunity for on the 17th. You'll see it on Phoebe's page and on my page and on Pam's page. So everybody will see that. So not to worry. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. Thank you
Bye,
so
guys.
much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thank
Love
you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Good
Happy
night.
New Year.
Good night.